Hey there, I'm joined by my good friend Mick. There he is. Have a look at him. How you going?
Hey, how are you, mate?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. What's going on?
Oh, just on the Goldie, having a hoot of a time, buddy. What's going on with you?
Oh, kicking ass, taking names. Just waiting on Jess. I'm just going to cut to Jess. See that empty spot that should be Jess? That Jess-shaped hole that exists there? Yeah, there should be a Jess in there, but there's not. So this is just a test. We have no particular plan tonight, guys. We were just we had Mick down. Mick's come all the way from Gympie. Mate, thanks for being here. How long does it take you to get from Gympie to here?
It's a 3-hour trek, or if you're on traffic on a Friday afternoon, way too long. Way too bloody long. It's, one thing the town planners didn't think about is the fact that everything was going to expand into 2-lane highway each way to Brisbane wasn't going to be sufficient enough. So
You know what expanded just then, Mick?
What?
That response.
My nostril.
It did, didn't it? I was kind of waiting for a conclusion myself. I feel like this is how it's going to go,
Right.
Jess. So concise, isn't it?
People say that
Two
about
on
me
one.
enough, is concise and to the point in a roundabout sort of way. But, roundabout's not my favourite traffic light. But anyway.
So tell me, Mick, what have you been up to, mate? It's been a while since I've seen you. It's good to see you, by the way.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. Mate, just been plugging away, working flat out, doing a
Yeah.
bit of stuff, with the green shirts and
All right.
the green shirt movement, and caught up with a bloke today actually talking about the doing a relationship with the rural aid by bail scheme. So
Okay.
that's
to me about that.
exciting. Yeah. Oh, well, actually, this is a scoop. No one knows about this yet, but I've actually been in talks with. I haven't spoken to anyone about it, but.
Including us.
Yeah, actually, fair dinkum. I haven't even told you blokes about it. But basically, since the show aired, I was chatting to a bloke about going down to Sydney and being on. He's starting a party boat to a company in Sydney Harbour.
Oh, that's cool.
And he messaged me and said, really love you, good to be a part of it. And I've gone, yeah, absolutely. You pay flights, accommodation, I'm there, with bells on. And funnily enough, then a company by Hang With A Star got a hold of me, and they're like, we could use you as a bit of promo stuff, work with a charity, blah, blah, blah.
That's cool.
And I've gone, hang on, we could work this Hang With A Star with this other bloke, Jeremy Borg, and work out and that align yourself with the charity as well. So my affiliation with the Green Shirts movement, which is all about grassroots agricultural sector sort of stuff, bringing the people together, to fight the rules and regulations that is basically holding the farmers back, holding the farmers, the fisheries, and basically the whole agricultural sector back from operating at 100% full capacity to
Can you
feed.
touch on that a little bit?
What do you mean?
What's bringing it back? Like, what are the things that you are actually, standing against here?
It's the rules and regulations, the government red tape against
The government red tape. And they are.
It
can be pretty hectic, the red tape.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Or like at the moment, we're looking at VMS laws when it comes to commercial fisheries, so vehicle monitoring systems. So this is an ongoing cost to the commercial fisheries sector. So, and now the government are bringing in quota marks, right? So we've got Australia-wide, we've got the greenest agricultural sector in the world, and you're talking about farming, you're talking about fruit and veggies, everything that's grown to your cattle, lamb, pork, everything, mate. We got the greenest agricultural sector in the world, and the government's just going, you know what, buddy, stuff. We're importing.
Yep.
We're importing about 66% of our stuff, our seafood, from Thailand.
Yeah.
Like Thailand.
That's never made sense to me that we do that.
100%. Yeah.
Is there a reason for that, Mick?
I don't understand, to be perfectly honest with you. All I know is that like we've got green zones that are breeding grounds for fish Australia wide, and this is the natural habitat, and obviously the commercial fishers have jurisdiction outside of that to bring the greenest and freshest seafood to our tables, and we're getting like it. I don't understand why we're not getting supported Australia-wide, why people are buying this food from Thailand. And the one thing that annoys me is, and I'm a big pusher for whether you're vegan like yourself,
Vegetarian,
same thing as far as meat eaters concerned. No, I'm kidding. But like as far as I'm concerned, Australian made, Australian owned. Whether you're a meat eater, whether you're plant-based buddy species, whether you do whatever you do, support local, buy local. That's the message that should be, because nothing's better than buying fresh bread from the bakery and still seeing the steam rising, as opposed to what Coles and Woolworths were doing, and that's getting their bread from Ireland half done and then rebaking it over here. That is true, and this is what happened.
That can't be. Hang on.
They've changed their process.
Let me just make this, because for a minute there, we were talking about prawns coming and fish from Thailand, which fascinates me. That's a long way to come.
Yes, 100%. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
And they're saying that bread is cooked in Ireland, the other side of the world. Ireland's not close, man. You can't get much further than that. And they're going to bring it in and reheat it?
No, this is what was happening a couple of years ago. On Coles and Woolies. So all your bread was made over an island, brought over, and then rebatched. No, I don't know the last step of the process to make it fresh Australian-made bread in Coles and Woolworths. But I mean, if I'm having seafood, if I'm having steak, if I'm having beans. If I'm going to I want stuff that was only picked yesterday, the day before. I don't want stuff that's picked and the chemicals that
sat on a boat from Ireland.
Yeah, absolutely. The chemicals that are sprayed on it. So,
and when you say 2 years ago or a couple of years ago, so the movement that you're with now, that's actually changed this. Is that right?
It hasn't changed. Well, we haven't changed the bread side of it. What we're trying to change is the revegetation laws, the vehicle management systems for your fisheries, your basically just everything that gets on your plate, everything that affects everyone, day-to-day sort of stuff is the legislation that needs to happen. So right now we're in, 9 year drought, and there's a lot of farmers that are in mulga country. So mulga country Australia-wide was basically drought time, knock over the mulga tree, and that gets your cattle over the line until the rains come, which everyone knows is the El Nino, the La Nina effect. At the moment, we're in the drought cycle and have been for a while now. We're waiting for that to kick over. Okay. And once that kicks over, that's when the revegetation starts happening. Your trees are growing again. The grass is growing at a rate of knots. So the revegetation and the soil, the soil erosion doesn't happen because the grass is re-establishing itself and this, that, and the other. And so the government had come out and said your mulga tree, anything over 130 mil diameter or a 1300 high, can't get knocked over and has a 5 metre exclusion zone.
Is that right?
So. Farmers that are I've spoken to 4th, 5th, 6th generation farmers that basically all the boys out bush are relying on the mulga to get them through the drought times, and they're not able to do so. So they're relying on companies like Rural Aid and Buddy, but the Burren Buddick hay runners and the Australian public to really get them through. So
it must feel good to be a part of such an organisation that is doing such good.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Yeah. And I know, from the show, apart from meeting the bloody lovely new missus I've got, but this is the one thing that's made it worthwhile for me. I get messages.
I should tell you, Mick, let me just jump in there real quick. We don't really talk about the show on here, but I do want to hear about your love life.
Yes, we
did touch on that. We're going to go back to that. But finish what you were saying. just now you were starting to talk about these messages.
Yeah.
What are they about?
Just to do with the green shirt movement itself, and like I get messages from blokes, especially to do with the couple of messages to do with the vehicle monitoring systems for the boats, and I get messages from people, families, and I've been to their houses, and the message is we're fighting the good fight, certa bonum certum, as they say in Latin, which is fight the good fight. That's true, by the way.
I did not know you spoke Latin, Mick.
Sometimes that's probably the most powerful thing to me, is knowing that I can help. And even today, I sat down and I was really humbled to talk with a bloke and a lady from rural aid by a bail. And so once again, we're talking about getting a charity ball rolling, and just hearing stories about this bloke. And I won't harp on about it too much, but yeah, this bloke Warren was saying that he got a phone call 2 days ago from a bloke out bush, and he was saying he had basically had a gun to his head and said, if I can't guarantee hay off you guys, you're going to hear me shoot myself.
Oh my
boy.
God.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
That is
I
quite.
see
That's
you getting
really
a bit
depressing to
emotional
hear.
about this.
Yeah, it's bloody shattering.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things. Like it really brings back down to earth. That life's pretty good, and
Yeah.
and these are the sort of messages that I want to get to people. Is buy local, support local.
Yeah.
Whether you love meat, whether you love plant, whether you bloody
Whatever
do,
it may be. Yeah.
and it supports local communities and that sort of thing. So, so today, I had a meeting with a couple of boys, and I'm really looking forward to what's happening in the future to help out. So, it's one of those things you call up and say, what can I do to help? And this is one of those things that you can actually do and make a difference. So
that's
I really look
powerful.
forward to what's going on in the next couple of months. So.
Good. That's good to hear, man. Hey, listen, tell me, because you're talking about this buy local. I mean, I've been hearing this for years.
Yeah.
Since I was a child. Trying to support Australian markets and whatnot. I mean, what's it going to take? Is there a silver bullet to this? Is it just awareness of the consumer to choose Australian-made produce and products and services, for that matter, or is there legislation that has to be put in place? I mean, is there some government organisation standing in the way of this? Is somebody profiting, or is it cheaper to bring it from overseas? I mean, what is the cause or the root cause of why farmers struggle and are undercut by foreign markets?
The big, as far as I'm concerned about it, the big devil is your big supermarkets. It's like anything. Let's look at for those out there. Let's look at the hardware supply chains. Right, years ago, there was everywhere you went, there was a local hardware down the shop. All of a sudden, Bunnings come in,
Right.
and they've just gone, come to us.
Right.
We'll undercut everything, and then push the local guy out. And he's
Right.
gone, I can't compete with their prices. All of a
course.
sudden, Bunnings got market share. What happens when you have got the market share?
Prices.
Prices skyrocket. So at the moment, Coles and Woolworths have basically everywhere around the country have pushed out the little guys like your Drakes, your local, your super IGAs, and basically just undercutting. All you got to do is look at the price of milk, $1 a litre. I mate, firsthand seen blokes that have been, like I know one farmer in particular down Mildura way in Victoria, he's working for $2.64 an hour, milking cows, 13 hours a day.
Wow.
Like if someone said to you, you're going to make $30 today,
Yeah.
13
You wouldn't
hours
get out of bed.
milking cows, so yeah,
No.
you'd tell them shove it.
Yeah.
But this is the big. It's the middleman. The middleman is Coles and Woolworths making the money, and it's really good to see. I'm working with a company at the moment, Mullaney Dairies, and sort of sorting out, just see how they run their ship, and they pay the farmers above board, well above board. And the good thing is if the farmers are making well above board in the local community, then they go out and they spend down at the coffee shop, down
Right.
at the bloody, they'll go out for dinner twice a week, and then that shop will be able to employ someone's daughter, someone's
Right.
and it's that sort of jazz, and
you know a lot
that
about
gets
it.
me going.
Yeah.
I love it.
And the good thing
Yeah.
I've noticed, because we've spoken about a few things, we've touched on this issue in the past in conversations that we've had together, I think at Gympie when I saw you last. And what I found was that most of the questions that I fired at you were answered, and they were answered in a way that you know what you're talking about. And I really love that about you, that you're passionate about what you actually stand for and what you're promoting and what you're talking about at the moment. Because you've got so many people on Instagram platforms that they're all standing for something or they're all speaking for something, and they really, you question whether or not they know
Yes. Yeah.
exactly what it is that they stand for.
Yes.
And I think, you've displayed right now and in the past that you really are passionate. And I saw tears well up in your eyes just before. And I will point that out because it is a powerful thing that you're saying. And I know that it is from your heart that you're saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, it's interesting, Jess. I mean, you look at mainstream media, and I feel like about maybe 3 to 4 months ago, we were hearing a lot about these farmers.
Right.
They were doing it tough. We had this huge drought. And, I mean, we had as well floods up in North Queensland and other areas. And, farms were getting wiped out left, right and centre. And then I guess the media is kind of like, all right, well, we're sort of finished with that story for the moment.
Yes.
And
Right.
there's
Yeah.
a war over here, or there's a
Yeah.
political debate that's happening. Let's just focus on
A
that.
distraction.
I haven't heard anything about these farmers, and I guess you just think, well, they must have recovered and they've gotten better and everything's fine. Oh, we don't need to worry about them so much now, and people aren't raising money. That awareness isn't there, but they are still doing it tough. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely doing it tough, and what you say there is 100% true. You go, oh, it's a drought. Gee, it hasn't rained. It hasn't rained in Brisbane. It hasn't rained in Sydney for a while, and then all of a sudden it rains, and people, the thing that annoys me is people just go, oh, the rain, it must have rained out west. Oh, it must have. We just got 100 mils here. It must have rained out west. There's a great thing in Australia called the Great Dividing Range.
Right.
Right.
Which
But it's that distraction, isn't it?
it's no. The Great Dividing Range. It's a geographical mountain.
I thought
range
you were saying in
the-
metaphorical fashion.
No.
There's actually a mountain range.
Yes.
A
Jess.
saying? Are
There's
you
a-
saying a
There's
saying?
a mountain
Or
range.
yes,
It's
I
called
do
the
know
Great
that.
Dividing
but
Range. So
you said a
and-
great saying, and I thought it was metaphorical, in which you.
No. So basically, the rain, the milliliters per year differentiates massively from the west side of the Great Dividing Range to the east side of the Great Dividing Range, and it just so happens everyone. Well, what's the statistic? It's like 75% of Australia or something like that lives on the east coast of Australia, right?
I think it's higher than that, actually, Mick. Yes,
It might,
Yeah.
but
It's a high
conservative
number.
figure 75%. And buddy, it just so happens that that's the best farmland in Australia.
Yeah.
And like if you go out west, like I know where I live, you can run. They say it's roughly one cow to seven acres, something like that. But out west, they're running one sheep to 2 acres. So it's tough times. And even today, talking to the rural aid bloke, kids are going to school and they're having to put the torches on their heads and going to have to count dead animals before they go to school.
That's depressing.
What's right. It's
Really?
mate horrendous.
Wow.
I was listening to this, just going, I need help. I need to do something. So, if I was,
When did you hear this?
what's that? Sorry.
When did you hear this?
Oh, today I was talking to the
Really? Just
Warren
today?
from Rural Aid. Yeah, feeding them today.
Wow. Okay.
So I was at a meeting before coming down here, and that's why I was stuck in beautiful Gold Coast traffic. Oh my God!
Beautiful
Don't be
Gold
knocking
Coast
out traffic.
traffic.
Thanks. Try going down to Sydney. And speaking of Sydney, you talk about the drought issue. I mean, for mine, living in the city or even here on the Goldie, I mean, it's raining now. If you go outside, it's probably raining right now. It's a bit of a wet patch for us, wet period for the last maybe week. And yet, you do hear about farmers, and honestly, you actually imagine that the weather that's happening where you are must be happening elsewhere.
It's
what are
happening
they
everywhere in
complaining
Australia.
about?
Yeah.
It's flooding here, and they're talking about droughts. I mean, it's a big country we're living in, and I suppose city people, we are huge consumers of the material that's grown and produced in the country. I don't know, there'd be a big number, a big statistic there, right? We do consume probably more than anywhere else in the country, these big cities. And we rely on farmers, and yet, we want to save a few bucks, so we go to Coles and we, pay $1 a litre for milk, which I've never understood. You pay more for water.
Yeah.
Like you literally, I think, you buy like it's comparable. You go to a service station, they'll charge you $4 for a water, and they'll charge you, $2.50 for a litre of milk. What's that about?
Yes.
Seriously, I mean, the process that's got to take place to produce milk. I mean, it's a whole thing, And
Well, we pay $1 a litre for soy milk, don't we?
we do pay $1.15 for soy milk, but I don't drink dairy myself personally. I got my reasons for that, but I can totally empathise with anyone in that industry and any other industry that's affected by the weather. Because you really are at the mercy of it. And you mentioned just before, you talked about, El Nino, La Nina, and how that period, I mean, because you can't say, oh, well, it's at a 9-year period now, so it should start raining or it will start raining. It may not.
Yeah, that's it, absolutely.
You basically got an axe sort of sat over your head the whole time. You never know if it's going to rain. I mean, I know a lot of these farms. I haven't done a hell of a lot of research, but I have seen enough to know that, some of these farmers, they've just packed up and gone, well, there's nothing here for us. We've lost everything. The banks are up as for this, that, and the other. We've loaned ourselves the back teeth, and
But they don't just pack up. The farmers, especially a lot that I've dealt with and had to deal with, don't just pack up. They go out, and
what do they do?
The last drop of water they've got in a water tank goes into the water trough. They put enough feed in the They put enough feed in the feed, and then that's happened on.
Is that right?
On multiple occasions, and I know even in the last flood that happened up in Townsville, a couple of green shirt boys went up there, and I was hearing stories about this as we were sort of protesting some VMS laws in at Parliament, and I heard Marty tell us what happened. I just broke down. It's just unreal. Like there was one lady in particular, 65-year-old old duck. She had water come on her property. She had about 300 hectare up Townsville way, and she had about 50 weaners die. They were trying to reach highland, so they got underneath the house, and she had 50 head of cattle die underneath her house, and she couldn't get out of bed for 4 days.
I saw that.
Yeah. You told me about
smell.
This.
Just the smell was
the smell. Yeah.
Just the smell coming up, and this is real people. This is what they had to deal with, and I was actually chatting to Rural Aid bloke about this today, and they were saying that one of the helicopter pilots for the army was actually chopper and hay in, and the first he just dropped it in some cattle, and they're just into it. And they were saying that he had about 300 head of cattle that were a couple of 100 metres away, saw the cattle drop, and I saw the hay drop, and
bolted.
They were up it for the rent, and they hit a bit of mud, and
is that right?
And this must really hit home for you. Like, I mean, your animals are just
they're everything. They get butter.
They're just everything, and I've seen it firsthand. So all your emotions right now, I can see and I can feel it in you, because I see the way that you treat them. I see the way that you are with them, and
this is how,
and it's not unlike
this is how every farmer treats.
Yep.
Like, I'm only small time hobby farmer, but buddy, the girls and the boys I got, they're everything for me.
Right.
You work that up to a big scale, and and this is what pisses me off with the greenies that go, farmers, they're just raping the soil, they're raping the animals, this, that, and the other. It's if the land isn't at its optimal capacity, they're not going to make money. The steers they're selling to the abattoirs aren't going to be at optimal level, so they're not going to get optimal money for them. Like, the land is everything to them.
Yeah.
And then you get the greenies come in and say, this isn't good enough revegetation, buddy, blah, 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 blah. Like, if you want greenies, like the true essence of greenies is farmers.
And isn't it perpetuating sometimes the very thing that they strive to stop or they're against, which is suffering, isn't it? And it's a thing that I've never really been able to make sense of, to be honest. And I see you here and I listen to you and everything just makes sense to me. I'm a vegetarian. I very rarely consume these products that you're speaking of, but at the same time, I can feel that there is such a need for some sort of shift.
Yes, even you mentioned then you're vegetarians and that sort of thing. Like, all you've got to do is look at the so the Queensland government had come out recently to talk more green shirt policy and that. So a lot of our veggies are grown in the Toowoomba region. Yeah. So the Queensland government have gone out to the veggie farmers out there and basically said, "Oh, what does it cost? How many megalitres does it cost you to produce, buddy? A hectare of lettuce?" And they've gone. Let's say for an example, they've gone, "All right, 2,000 litres for a hectare of lettuce," and the Queensland government goes, "Righto, you get 1,000 litres out of the
quota
basin out there." So they basically half quota. They've halved the quota for all your veggie farmers out in the Toowoomba Southern Downs district.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Exactly. So
Okay.
guess who's there fighting this legislation?
But surely there's
green shirts.
Surely there's some form of management that's been considered in this. If there's water available, why wouldn't you allocate it? Surely they know what your resources are. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. I don't know.
Yeah.
It would make no sense if the water's there and available to say, well, you get half of what you need. What's that about?
Mate, I don't know. The water's there and available. There's a lot of cotton farmers down. I don't know the ins and outs of what's happening down northern New South Wales with the cotton farmers, but there's up in arms that they're getting Pride and Prejudice first against the veggie farmers of Queensland. So there's it's just not enough. It doesn't make sense. All of a sudden you're producing half yields. Your farms aren't viable, so they go to sell. They're making a loss. It's ridiculous, mate. And it really pisses me off. But
is there? Do you feel as though there might be? You talk about the cotton farmers having greater allocations. To be fair, I don't know the finer detail. I'm just going off what you're telling me here. But in essence, it sounds as though one industry is given greater allocation than another. Is it possible that there's some kickbacks from that industry to politics that would somehow grease the wheels, as it were? Is something like that happening? We can discuss that. That's no problem.
I don't know the ins and outs of that, but I would say just like everything, when it comes to politics, when there's a decision made,
yep,
someone's getting a backdoor deal.
Well, that's not good enough.
Yeah, it is not good enough. It's pathetic. Like like I said, the Australian people need and want and deserve the freshest, greenest fruit and vegetables.
Who's managing all this? Who's in charge of all this politically?
The bloke who's in charge of the Queensland sector, Mark Furner. My first sort of foray into it with the green shirts, we actually went outside Mark Furner's office in Ferny Hills, and we tried to get a meet and greet. Well, no, not myself personally. It was Marty and a couple of other boys who were up the top ranks. Sort of wanted to meet and greet with Mark Furner, who's in charge of the agricultural sector for the Labor Queensland government. And basically, we were out there picketing, and all they wanted was just to say good day and have a chinwag about a few policies. And it's the classic example of politics and the media. So
Okay.
Mark came out, and everyone's sort of having a chinwag. Channel 9 News was there, and Mark's basically just gone, "Oh, how you doing?" and got a photo taken. But he went straight back inside afterwards. So the next day in the paper, Mark Furner looked like he had this U-Butte bloody chinwag with the green shirts over legislation and policy, when all he did was come out, buddy, and just say good day, get a photo, straight back inside.
Okay.
And
how
as we know, when it comes to bloody
Yeah.
television shows and the media, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Well, that is
So,
true.
But that's another issue.
So this Mark Ferner character, maybe we should throw it out to him to come and have a chat. I'd like to do a little research, get across this, and we might have a conversation about this.
Love
see if
to.
we can't get to
Yeah.
the bottom. I've got a few questions just on the face of what I've heard here. I'd need to know more and be more informed on the subject, but yeah, I might have a word with him. That'd be an
Love
interesting
to.
conversation. Well, he wouldn't get one past us, that's for sure.
Love to get him in a dark alley
Well,
too.
we'll be fair and,
Yep.
and reasonable, but I would like to know what the finer detail is on that one. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I suppose you could argue that the government can't make it rain.
Oh, 100%, absolutely.
But they can manage the resources that are available, and if there's a mismanagement there, that should be exposed. And certainly, if there's anything that can be done to amend that, then that should be what happens. And if this guy's got some answers that he might know something we don't, Mick. So
I hope so.
Well,
Because that would justify a lot of crap.
is this our figurehead? Is this the guy we need to talk to, or is there somebody else is across it?
No, this is the guy. This is the head
guy?
of the head of agriculture for the Queensland Labor government.
How old is this bloke?
Or he'd be, let's say 50. Still pisses yellow as far as I'm concerned. Hasn't seen a day out in the bloody bush.
Just trying to create a profile of this guy, know what we're up against or what we're going to be dealing with. I would like to see him come onto the Mike Gunner podcast. I'd like something really to sink my teeth into, and it sounds like this guy would be a good place to start. Anywho, I think we might have been able to, we might have solved a few problems if we, in time, you and I. Because I don't want to think that there's people out there doing it tough enough that they feel like they've got to end their own lives. I mean, that ain't
Happens
right.
every day. It's too much, and like the naked farmer, another bloke. I don't know if you saw it, but I got my gear off and had a photo down there.
I saw that. I was a big fan of that. I commented on that, by the way.
I know, it was disgusting.
Hey, now listen, we're going to lighten things up just for a minute.
Yep,
we
righto.
We might
I
come
loved
back.
it, by the way.
Did you?
I laughed so hard. I didn't know what it was. All I saw was
Let me
I just loved it. It was so funny.
let me paint the
we
picture.
laughed.
Paint the picture for us, Jess.
Oh,
What did you say?
here we go.
It was almost well, it wasn't quite a spready. But it was the boot up, the foot up, and it was in the raw, wasn't it? On the
Yeah,
farm.
she was darkest.
It was it black and white?
It was black and white.
Oh.
Who took that photo, Mick? Was it?
The girlfriend, yeah.
Is that right?
Oh.
Yeah,
Did
she
she?
took the photo, and I don't want to say it was incredibly cold that day, but she took another photo, and the little fella was bloody dangling out, and I was going, we can't use that. She said, no, but I want
I'll
to use
Photoshop
it.
it. Now listen, this is
Mean.
the second time you've brought it up, and I feel like I want to unpack this a little.
Righto.
So, okay, clearly I've met a new love interest
Ooh.
in Jessica, and
Yep.
I understand you have too. Talk
Yes.
to us about this lady.
Talk
What's
to
her
us
name?
about this lady.
Her name is Kayla.
How'd you meet her?
We actually met at a bloody cocktail evening down in Melbourne.
Love it.
And I went down there for Tamara's 30th and got an invite to this event. And I thought, bugger it. Why not?
Yeah,
Let's go. And bloody saw her and I was just like, wowee, this is...
She's good looking.
she's, buddy, everything I filled out for talking to her and getting to know her. Like, fair dinkum, I only spoke to her for about a minute at that thing open. I was flabbergasted. I was like, wow, who the bloody...
You were flabbergasted.
Yeah, fair dinkum.
And I know you don't flabbergast easily. So
Yeah.
that's saying something.
Yes, and
Okay.
we went to, and then, funnily enough, she came up to the Gundawindi races. So I went out.
Oh, here we
Went out
go.
to Gundy. Went out to Gundy.
Did you go there because she was going?
No. She like this dude we sort of deal with knew her and got her up and so I picked her up from the airport, Sunny Coast Airport, and drove out to Gundy, which is about 5 hours. And when I got there, I was just like, wow, we're putting tunes on the car, we're bloody dancing and yahooing in the car, and I'm going, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is awesome. And we spent 2 nights together there, and then I dropped her back off at the airport. A couple of days later, and was like,
Talk to us about those
When
2
you-
nights, Mick.
coming up again. They were amazing. Yeah, really cool. She's a great chick, and
Okay.
since then we've caught up a few times, and
What's she do with herself?
she's a hostie for Tiger. She actually used to be on The Bachelor, the Honey Badgers year of The Bachelor.
Ah, there you go.
So
eh?
she was the girl that buddy jumped in the pool.
There you go. Okay.
So, yeah, the best thing is I've never watched her on television. She has no idea who I am or what I got up
Okay.
to.
Really?
We just
She doesn't.
got
So she'd
no idea.
watch your. Okay.
No idea.
Yep.
She's never.
That's refreshing.
yeah, great, really cool.
Yeah.
So she goes, I really want to watch it just to
You
know
should.
what you got up to, but at the same
Oh,
time,
yeah.
I don't want to hate you just in case you've done something dumb and then I take it out on you. And I'm like, whatever, I'm growing a mustache, so
So
whatever.
she's
You've got a mustache.
Yeah,
The more see.
yeah.
It protects all.
Yes, it does. It protects a lot of things.
Oh, well, that's awesome. And you have to Mike and myself. You've talked about Kayla.
Yes.
And you've said really, really great things about her, but I've not met her. We've not met her.
Yep.
And I'm pretty excited to meet her. I'm pretty excited for you too because you deserve it.
Yeah, she's great. She's
Yeah.
The funny thing is, she was in Brizzy the other week, and I popped in and introduced her to my best mate, and then
Is this the best mate that we saw on Not To Be Said show?
on
Yes?
Shed show, yes.
love his speech.
Ah.
Mate,
Wasn't
All right,
it a
no, no.
cracker?
if
Actually,
If we
sorry,
know
I'm going to
anything-
take that
It
back.
was
He's
so good.
probably a legend, bloke.
He is a legend.
and I tell you what,
Yeah, we won't
the
talk
editing
about it.
job though.
Oh yeah, I know. Hey, but okay. So where we're at so far? So Kayla met her in Melbourne. She's from Melbourne, right?
No, she's from Mount Gambier, so a town about halfway in between Adelaide and Melbourne, and country
Okay.
girl. Basically everything I asked for filming
Well, what did you ask for? You asked for a tall
in the
brunette.
yeah, well, the tall, athletic, brunette, country girl, not afraid to get her hands dirty, doesn't wear much makeup.
Good
bloody-
sense of humour.
just a
She's
good
got a
sense
good
of
sense of
humour.
humour, doesn't she?
Yeah,
You've
oh.
said this a few times.
Mate,
It's
she-
you've actually told us a couple of jokes that she said, a couple of one-liners, and we've both cracked up. She
Yeah.
sounds.
She's a
like
ledge,
really
yeah,
cool.
great chick.
Ledge.
Really
So
cool
she,
chick.
but she's living in Melbourne, or
Yes, living in
thereabouts
Melbourne,
now.
but
So
yeah,
how
she's-
often do you see her?
Every couple of weeks we spend
Okay.
a few days together, and but yeah, she's actually moving up to the sunny coast,
Ah.
bit
Okay.
closer
Ah.
to me.
Okay, so not
Scoop.
full blown gimpy in your joint yet,
Scoop.
but
Possibly.
you're just gonna. I like this. Watch this space, huh?
Possibly,
Scoop, bit of a scoop.
Can't divulge too much, but
Okay. So how long's this been going on, mate?
bloody couple of months now.
Okay.
So
good to
no,
hear.
she's cool. Yeah, she's great. Shut the gate.
Well, she's definitely put
gate.
the spring back in your step. I can see that. The starch in your dicky, because
The best thing I quite like about her is so it come to the voting for the federal election, and
yeah.
I picked her up from the airport, buddy, one night at 10 o'clock at night, then drove out to Oakey Creek, which is Gold Coast hinterland, and
Yep.
the next day was running around in the green shirt through the Jimboomba region, just talking to people. Trying to get them to vote anything but Labor and the Greens, talking about the farmers and this, that and the other. And we would have been there for about 4 or 5 hours. Didn't squeal, didn't do anything,
Loved
didn't
it.
say this is boring. Because
Yeah.
I think she understands how much this means to me.
Yeah.
So whereas, said people in the past on said television show would have stayed in bed.
So she stepped up. She's clearly someone that cares about you and what's important to you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
really cool, man.
really cool.
absolutely. So, she's great. Really cool.
Oh, that's good, man.
Yeah.
It is. It's awesome.
Well, it's good to have you down here. And for those wondering why I'm wearing a tie, I mean, I don't just rock out like this.
Bullshit. You are formal as hell all the time.
And myself formal.
Yeah, you're a bit formal too,
I'm a
tonight,
bit
Jess.
formal tonight.
You got some formal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at an event tonight up here in the Goldie. It was a fun thing. It's happening all weekend.
You hosted.
I did indeed. Yeah. A little dating thing where young, well, not even young, but everyone, guys and girls, kind of did a bit of a perfect match style meet up, and there was so few men. Particularly on the Gold Coast, apparently there's so few men here and an abundance of single women. And so there's all these single women.
Strange.
And the guys got the pick of the joint, and the guys got to choose the girls. But we had a lot of fun with it, and I was all a bit dressed up for it. But you came along, Mick. Did you enjoy tonight?
It was a hoot, actually. It was really good fun. There's nothing you love more than having the run of the joint, cracking jokes. You were really good.
He did
As
so
much as
well, didn't he?
I hate pumping your tyres up. You were
Oh, here we go.
No, you were really good.
He did so well, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. You were great.
Because, the thing is, I'll tell you something about you, Mick, and I'm going to give you a compliment.
Oh, pumping his tyres.
Pumping tyres.
Are we reverse pumping?
Reverse pumping.
Everyone's getting some tyres pumped tonight. No. I mean, you're a funny guy. Like, I mean, you're going to go, oh, shucks, stop with that. But you are a funny guy. Same as, say, Mark was a really funny guy.
Legend.
Oh, totally.
Yep.
And there's people in your life, your friends or whatever it is, family members, and they are funny people. That's just their thing. I'm not one of those people. I'm not a funny person.
You are.
I don't think I am.
You don't think you are, but you are. You're hilarious. And particularly if you put your mind to it. Like, I know.
He was today. Like,
He does.
I quite like Mike, but buddy, today was quite.
You quite liked
very
him more.
entertaining. I don't quite like him the way you quite like him. Let's just, buddy, woo up that.
Well, I quite like him.
But it was very entertaining.
He is. And I see this all the time. Okay, because I see him. You, baby.
Do you see him? Whoa.
I see him do the funniest thing. It's so good.
Oh,
No, it's awesome.
but no, I don't. Okay, I'm not funny like Mick's funny though.
Yeah, you are.
Mick's a riot act. Like, he's just, he's on all the time.
But you think I'm way
You're
funnier
on
than
all
what
the
I am.
time.
I don't
That's-
think I'm that funny.
You
Like,
are one of the funniest people I know.
Pig's ass.
You're pretty funny. Pig's ass. No, you are. You both are. All right, pump,
Hey,
reverse
so
pump.
listen.
All right, what are we going to pump Jess's tyres up about?
Oh, yeah, okay.
The fact that it only took her half an hour to get ready?
It only took
that's
me.
deflating the tyre.
Come on,
Oh,
that
is it?
deflating.
I'm not very good
It
at
took
this.
me 15 minutes.
Did it?
I'd say 10 to 15, to be fair.
Is that, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Is that average or above average?
No,
to
it's
get
above
ready?
average. Like, that's above average. Awesome. Like,
Nice.
yeah.
So
I
can
get
I ask you
ready
another
really
personal
quick,
question?
don't I? And I don't do my hair. Really, I don't do
You don't
my
do your hair?
makeup. No.
Looks good.
If I feel
I think I've
like
come a long way in the
Pumping.
last
average
minute.
woman takes
2
45
hours.
minutes to
In my
2 hours,
experience,
then
on
I
a
take about
said show 2 hours. to get ready.
15 minutes solid, don't I?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
About 15 minutes.
I reckon it's 15 minutes by the time I say we got to go.
Bullshit.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's been in there an
Yeah.
hour, and then I get a 15-minute point.
An
where I-
hour?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Never.
Okay.
You're deflating the tires.
Am I? Okay, you're quick.
No, I
What's
mean,
it
I'm
matter
quick.
anyway? I mean, girls have got a lot more stuff to do than guys.
Yeah.
they do. And I will,
And some guys
Really
more
admit-
than other. Hey, Mike.
Oh, here we go.
An
Mick, I'm not even going to
hour?
cut to you
It's
because you're
never an
pointing to your
hour.
hair. Hair jokes are not funny.
Oh, well, maybe.
No. Look, women do have more stuff to do, and look, honestly,
Well, it wasn't an hour tonight. I got ready.
this is something we should bring up, and I've wanted to talk to you about this before, actually, Ms. Jessica.
Yes.
About and I like to speak on gender politics,
Uh-huh.
but women typically do have more in life in general, considerations to make. Certainly,
I think
if
so.
I want to go, look, if Mick and I tonight said, you know what, let's go out and grab a beer, and it's right, and obviously you would come, but if it was just he and I, we could literally be out the door in
5 minutes.
even less,
Yes.
right? Now, if you and your girlfriend were here and you say, hey, let's go out and have a drink somewhere, you couldn't be doing that in 5
No,
minutes.
but
There'd be
I think
3
I
bottles of
would
champagne,
always
2 bits of
be-
pizza,
to be
Uber
fair,
Eats.
Well, to be fair, I would always be the one that's ready first. Always.
Out of,
I mean,
like,
I
out
don't
of your
have
chick.
nails.
Out of you and your
I don't-
mates?
I don't. Yes. I don't paint my nails. I don't like. I just don't have the stuff that other girls.
What? Give us your checklist. What do you have to do?
I put a quick. I don't know how to do my makeup to save myself. To be fair, so that's
good
probably
though.
the other thing.
That's what El Natural. I tell you what now. I tell you right now. Blokes prefer El Natural. If you're looking
Agreed.
like a bloody Oompa Loompa,
I can't.
blokes are just going.
And
what's
you know
this?"
what?
Yep.
Like I've actually thought, do you know, maybe I should figure out how to do my makeup. 'Cause
No,
all I just
don't.
do is- and I will shock horror anyone that knows how to do their makeup and they use particular things. They use implements, right? And they do it all, and they've got the highlighter.
It's an artwork.
Blah, blah, blah. And I just go slap, 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 and blush, 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 and nothing really else. Bit of lippy or whatever, gloss, and I'm pretty ready to go. I think it's unfair to say now.
Look, no, you're right. I think you just said something.
I'm bringing him down
Why are you bringing me down? What are you talking about?
from the hour.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I'm
okay.
preconditioning
Yeah, all right.
you
Well,
to say what I
guess
want
it
you
just
to say.
feels like an hour. It feels like an hour for us because, like
Yeah,
Mick
it feels
said.
like you because you're impatient. Well, you're patient for very many things.
Can I ask?
Excuse me.
Can I ask you a personal question, Jess?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, we had a little camera issue there, but we're back now. Mick's mopping up a spill. What's happened here, Mick? Oh, he's cracking another one.
Just cracking tins, sinking bins.
Here we go. Oh, goodness me.
Smoking darts, breaking hearts.
What was your last question to Jess there, mate?
All right, let's bake. All right, Jess.
Your headphones got to go the other way, by the way.
I'll do that. All right, Jess. Check.
Yeah, you good?
You good?
Check.
You good?
All right, Jess.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a serious question while
Yep.
I've got you here?
Yep. Well, you got me here. Yep.
So
This is not going to be serious.
I don't want to bring it up, but I
Do
have
it.
to.
Do
I
it.
feel I have to.
Yeah.
So on said experimental show that Mike and I were a part
We're
of.
not meant to be talking about this, Mick.
I'm
by the
just.
way. Okay.
It's got to do with love,
It's congenial.
and I think it's a real sensitive topic here. Now, there was said topic brought up about said item called the Tailgate Saga. Right. I don't know if you're familiar with the Tailgate Saga.
I'm familiar with it, yes.
So, if you don't mind me asking, while I've got you here,
Right.
uh,
Did I experience?
what's your experience in the Tailgate Saga area format /
What am I like with
Format
towels?
slash
Yeah, what do you like?
What am I like with towels?
Yeah,
mate?
sorry, I beat around the bush. I'm
It's
sorry.
perfectly normal with towels. And I've never really understood that. It's weird.
Has he used
Because
your towel?
No. Well, we use each other's towels.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we
I
share.
don't
What?
see it as being
We
a huge
share.
thing.
We share towels.
You share.
And we do.
Why are you so flabbergasted
Maybe-
by that?
maybe-
Can I
that's
ask
the
another
thing.
question while I've got you here?
Okay, so that was a fantastic.
You haven't even thought of the
mustache. It's
Correct.
the mussy question from nowhere. No, well, we don't. We don't really care about little things.
We don't.
like that. I don't.
So what you're saying is that you guys
we share
have-
towels. We. I mean,
You don't
we
flounder
kiss, we
on the
snuggle,
little
we don't.
topics.
We don't.
No,
really.
we don't flounder on little topics. No,
No.
I just,
awesome.
really
good.
you know,
We don't. Well, you've seen us in action. We don't.
I haven't seen you
Well, not with a
in
towel.
action.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so
I've seen you in action, but I haven't
you've
seen
seen-
you,
but you've seen us
in
together.
action.
We
Yep.
we don't really.
No,
We
you don't.
We don't fuss,
which is
do we?
disappointing because there's nothing I like to see than live drama. No, I'm
Live
kidding. It's
drama.
horrendous.
Well, you don't
It's
really.
terrible.
You don't really.
You
get
guys
with
are,
us.
yeah, you guys are.
oh well, you know, I mean, you'd have to ask Jess about this, but I think I'm pretty reasonable and easygoing in general.
Look, I'm not gonna.
Far
I'm not
out.
gonna like pump his tires.
Pump them up, have a pump.
I'm not gonna pump his tires, but I will a little bit. And
So basically,
For
the
me-
Tailgate Saga is false as far as you're concerned.
well, no, I mean the Tailgate Saga is definitely not false in some people's eyes, but in mine, no, it's not. I just that kind of thing, it just doesn't.
Doesn't phase you.
Good.
No,
Good.
but you know there has.
What phases you about me?
Well,
Oof.
What
Oh.
does bother you about
Anyway, I'll see you later.
me. No, nothing really.
What phases you about a man in general? What things would phase you that would bother you about
I
it?
don't like anyone who's unkind.
Okay.
I don't like anyone who's unkind.
Okay.
I don't like anyone who takes other people for granted. I don't like anyone who's demeaning or belittling or anything like that. And with Mike, you are considerate, very, of me, and sometimes I just think
Too much so. I saw it at my place the other week, and he's bloody getting you everything.
He is.
Like, he didn't even ask me if he could steal a blanket off the couch and give to you. Like, the dog was on that blanket.
I know.
She wasn't.
Just bomb.
jeez. Yeah, the dog was on that blanket, but she was cold and it was the closest blanket, so I put it over her. Whatever.
No, it was great. It's really refreshing to see, a good bloke and a good mate off the show fall deeply. And
Yeah.
on another note,
Oh, okay, here we go. I can see where this is about to go.
On another note, though, honestly, I would so drop him in if he had been guilty of anything right now, right?
guilty of what?
Anything.
Like
if
what?
he was guilty of being inconsiderate, of all the things that people...
You would have traded him in and got a new model.
No, you know that I'd so say that he was, right?
Would you say I was?
I
Would you
so
say
would.
I have a serious question for you. A serious one. Would you say I ever gaslight you, or am I a misogynist?
No.
Good.
No, definitely not.
Is that a firm no?
It's a, it's a firm no. And I think we have touched on this before. Gaslighting, it's something that I'm really aware of. It is. I'm familiar with the term, where it's from, its origin. I'm familiar with how I've seen it with
And there's
many
no
friends.
evidence of me having done that.
No.
All
So
right.
it makes me laugh a little bit because it's so out of the realm of possibilities. I think that's why it makes me laugh a little bit, but possibly I shouldn't laugh at the subject itself, which I'm not. But no.
Oh no, it's not funny. I mean, no doubt it happens. People are subject to constant and
Terrible
ridicule and
things,
criticism
yeah.
from their partner, and that's
No.
in no
How
way
much crap do I give him?
Not enough.
But I mean, if you can see me subject to any kind of it's just not.
And that's the way, and this is the way relationships should be. Like, the way I see you two guys is the way that Kayla and I am.
I know.
And
well,
it's-
actually,
and it's
you
really
do
awesome.
sound quite similar. Like what you say of Kayla, which I'm so excited to meet her. By the way, it does sound like similar to us.
Yeah, we give each other a bit of a hard time, but it's it's all in fun.
It's fun. Yeah,
It's-
absolutely.
Yeah, there's no intent. There's no malice there. It's just you have a bit of fun.
It's just,
it's fun.
banter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
banter's fun.
Oh,
Hey guys, we've been shooting the breeze for quite a while here.
Have we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we can continue to shoot the breeze. No, you okay? We good? I think Jess has had enough. Mick, I'll tell you what, you're going to be here all weekend. Let's do this again. And next time we'll actually think of some things to talk about. That we covered some beautiful topics here tonight, to be fair. We came in with no plan whatsoever, and I feel like we've really uncovered some cool stuff. So, Mick, you're here for the weekend. You're going to be hanging out. We're going to get amongst it in the Goldie, show you what it's got to offer and whatnot. And Jess, so nice to be chatting with you as well.
Thank you.
And three of us are good mates. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this little conversation, and we will be doing it again this weekend with Mick, and I believe possibly even another pal from a friend of ours, Nick, might be coming
From
along.
where?
from said show.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna mention that. But yeah, Nick might make an appearance. That'd be a bit of fun. Hey, so thanks for hanging out with us, and we will see you soon enough.